Hello, 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 everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Everything says it's good, so we're hoping it's all good. Woohoo! Okay. Is everybody getting ready for Father's Day? Hey, Elaine. Has everybody got sound? Somebody acknowledge that the sound is working, please. Hi, Joan. Yay, we do have sound. Good, 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 good. I was just checking to make sure everything was there. And I am going to try to get through this live tonight without coughing all over you guys. I woke up about 4 a.m. sick. So, hey Angela. Hey Mary. Hey Louise. Alexis. While we have a few minutes before we get started, I had some questions, and this will be available back on the playback as well. To clarify some of the stuff on Ko-fi. If you are a Patreon supporter, we are moving, but you can stay on Patreon if you want to. You do not have to move. You'll still have file access. So if you don't want to move, that's okay. And if you do want to move, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Let me go over to that page so I can cover that for you guys. You can't see me, Elaine? Oh, yeah. I'm not on camera right now. I'm sick, so I'm not going to go on camera tonight. But I am going to show you guys some things. This is my Ko-fi page. And just to clarify, this is where you subscribe. And each time you add a coffee on there, it goes up. And that's what you're subscribing per month or as a one-time deal. Make sure that you're logged in, number one, that you've created your account and you are logged in. That's very important before you do anything else. Once you're logged in, you can either make your message of support, whatever you want to say to me, private, or you can leave it public. And you can do one time or you can do monthly. Now here's the difference, guys. This is what everybody's getting a little confused on. One time. One time means you're going to get a one-time charge for that $5 or over how many coffees you did, okay? You will get access to the file for the night that we're doing. For instance, tonight, if you want tonight's file, but you don't want all of my past files or all the stuff that I have on my site, and you just want this file and possibly others coming up, one-time support will get you tonight's file and any files that I make public for the next 30 days only. Now, like tonight, if you come in here and you subscribe, you will get tonight's file. You'll get access to it, and I'm going to show you where. But if you come in here tomorrow and you do this one time, you're not getting the file from tonight because it starts from from the day you post and 30 days forward. It is not retroactive. So if you want a file that was in the past, you have to do a monthly, and that gives you access to all of my files, everything from the past, present, and future, as long as your monthly subscription is good. So like last week we did the patriotic flower. If you're wanting that patriotic flower, the only way to get it now is to do a monthly subscription. Because if you do a one-time and try to get it, you're not going to, because that was on the 22nd and it's not retro. So that's the difference between one-time and monthly. And once you've done that, you can come over to the post and you will see if it has a lock on it, that means that this is for one-timers and monthly. Or the monthly people can come down here to this file and open this up and get the password for the month of May. What that password does, if you're not monthly subscriber, you don't have to worry with any of this. The link is in the file. You won't get this one if you subscribe one time tonight. You will not get this one. You will get this one. Tomorrow you will not be able to get this one. So if that makes sense. Unless you become monthly. Once you become monthly, you can open that up and you can get that file. Let's see. And the way that you do that, once you have that password, you're going to come over to the site here, and then you're just going to say you want to get that file, and you're going to enter that password that was in that May file. Super simple. The password contained in this post, right here, there's a password in there. When you open that up, you can see the password. That password goes here. You don't have to worry about logging in with your email and your password and all that anymore. All you need is that password. And then you can log in and you can view the files. Super easy, super simple. I know it's a little different from Patreon and it can be confusing. Make sure that you cancel your Patreon subscriptions, guys. If you're coming over to Ko-fi, you do not need both of them. If you remain a patron, this will change tonight. The May password is ending at midnight, and a new password will be issued for all June subscribers. If you're on Patreon, you may lose access for a couple of days. If you need a file, let me know. Once you're processed, you will get the password for June. It just takes Patreon longer to process, and Ko-fi is instant. So that's one of the reasons why I switched. It's easier. Elaine, if you are a monthly supporter, you get files from way back as far as my files go. Every file I have, you have access to it. So if you do monthly, you get them all. If you subscribe tonight, you're going to get tonight's file and any files that I process in the next 30 days. That's all you're going to get for one time. Monthly gets everything. So just super simple, super easy, and patrons, don't worry, you will get your password and you're going to log in the exact same way. Refresh, Joan. Somebody can, because I'm showing everything good. So just so that you know, well, I can't type there. Let's see. So the reason being, it's just got way out of hand, and I was having to be here 24/7 because I want to be here for my supporters, and we all have different hours. My patrons have different hours, and I didn't want them waiting on me to have to activate their access when they joined, or if their card got declined because of an expiration date and they had to reprocess it, waiting for me to go in and reactivate everything for them. And Ko-fi is just totally instant and easy. So from now on, patrons, everything is the same if you want to stay over on Patreon, except you're just going to log in the exact same way I just showed. You're just going to come over, click on it, and put that monthly password in here. And your password is good for the month. Okay? So it's going to be super, super easy for you guys from now on. So, and anybody that missed that, you can get that on the playback. So let's go ahead and play the intro and get into tonight's tutorial. Okay. I did. I did. Excuse me, guys. Again, my throat is really, really, really raw. And I don't, my husband was sick when I went to visit him. He's working in Florida. And I think I got it. I tried to stay 10 feet away from him so I didn't get it, but I think I got it anyway. Okay, tonight we're going to be doing some Father's Day projects, and they're really quick and easy. But the main thing is we're just going to be using print and cut to do it. So here is one of them. And on the front here I've done, I don't know if you guys can see the shine and shimmer on this print and cut, but it looks like a professional decal. Okay, but it is print and cut, adhesive vinyl. And I've put some washi tape and some bottle caps around the base of it. You can decorate yours up any way you want. And I've also put the print and cut label on the top here. And these are Design Space images. I have altered some of the Design Space images. I do use Access images for you guys who are new and are considering on Ko-fi. If you don't have Access, generally you can exchange out an image and put your own image in its place and still have the project file. But for print and cut, that is going to be a little tricky, and I'm going to show you guys some of that. But all I did on this is the world's greatest pop. So what I did is I put a soda in here and some candies and popcorn, and you could put movie tickets in there, whatever you want, and even some earplugs, since it does mention on the front about some earplugs, on the top rather. So cute little thing that you can do with your kids to put those together for Dad. And I've got topics for everybody. We're going to do several of these, and you'll see. So if he's not into movies and he's into something else, we're going to show you how you can do these up for different types of dads. So this one is one that we're going to be doing. I already put this one together, but I did do the images again so that I can show you guys how to use them and cut them and all of that good stuff. So here we are. I have got one, and I've already put the laminate on it and cut it so that we could go ahead and use that. And it's just, we're just going to peel that off like a sticker. I'm going to show you guys how to get there, but we're going to be using these two since I've already used those. I'm also going to be showing you how to do it with cardstock, where you can use cardstock for print and cut. But we are using the StarCraft matte adhesive vinyl, permanent adhesive. It is not waterproof, guys. That's the problem with a lot of print and cut, because we use our ink jets to print, and there's no way to make sure that it stays waterproofed. So StarCraft has a laminate that goes over the top. Now I was using clear 651 vinyl, but this is different. Hi, Catherine. This is a lot different. It has a different feel to it. Dust and dirt. So if you're doing these for cars, dust and dirt doesn't stick to them like it, and it doesn't discolor like the 651 did, because it has like a little yellow hue to it. But this is really crystal clear, and that it makes them look and feel professional. So I get this at Brilliant Vinyl, and they also have this in a matte. This one is the gloss that I'm using tonight, but it does come in a matte. So if you don't want that shine, you can do them that way. So let's go over to Design Space and talk about some print and cut, and then we'll come back over here. So where did all of my images go? May have to refresh here, guys. I lost my images on all of a sudden. There it goes. Here we go. There's all the images. So if you support me on Ko-fi tonight, you will get this file, and you can change out some of the images. You can change out some of the fonts and put your own in so that you're not charged for anything. But the file I've set up is already here, And if you scroll down, this one right here, this group, I did with paper to show you guys, but you can do this with print and cut too. But I'm just going to show you some options. That one I did on cardstock. But how did I achieve some of those images? Because if you look at this one here, we're just going to ungroup this, and I put these in the file for you guys. If you had the file you wanted to follow along, you could. This is this image here. So how did I do that? Because you can see the grid back here behind this one, and there is no grid behind that one. There's a super simple way of doing this. The first thing I did is I selected a red color because I wanted it to be red, okay, when I did my print and cut. I also duplicated that image because with print and cut, we need to flatten it to something, or it's just going to try to cut all of this out individually, and that's not what we're looking for. Even if I were to flatten it, that's what it would do. So I am going to select it, my second one that I've made, and I'm going to hit contour. Contour erases all of your inner cut lines, guys. So if you have an image, I even saw a post today about like a luminary. There are tons of luminaries in Design Space, and there was one that even fit what they were looking for. But it had like a tree cut out of it for Halloween or whatever occasions. They had several occasions. All you have to do is use your contour and hide all the contours. And when you hide all the contours, you get a solid image. Then you can go and slice anything you want out of this image or use it for a background. Now I wanted my background to be white, so because white doesn't print, and I can arrange and I can send that to the back. But then I'm going to leave my bleed on, but I will have that little bit of edge and the possibility of it not meeting and cutting correctly with this fancy edge. So I just stretched it a little bit and then put my image right in the center of it. Align, center, and then you come to the bottom right, and with it all selected, flatten. Now it is one, if you'll look over in the layers panel, one layer. If you see 2 or 3 layers, it's not flattened correctly. What it would do in that instant is it would print it, and then it would cut this out, cut this out, cut this out. You don't want that. You want it when you have flattened to see your entire image, for it to print and cut only in one layer. Okay? So that is the trick to your print and cut with getting that grid back there. So I'm just going to delete that one. I showed you where I've got, let me ungroup this, how I got that one. So how did I do this one? This was a whole set. I'm just going to move these out of my way here. This was a card and an envelope in Design Space. But I'm like, hey, I want to do that popcorn for a label. So what I did is I brought it in and I ungrouped it, and I got rid of all of the stuff I wasn't going to need for that card. Now I wanted this piece because I was going to need it. But all I did was select these two, and I went ahead and flattened those so that I had my yellow and my popcorn. And I'm just going to try to make this bigger so you guys can see it on screen there. And then I had this label over here that went to the front. I placed it. I'm going to move that to the front. And then I'm going to place it over the top, right here. I'm going to select everything and flatten. Then you just determine what size you want it and size it up to that size. So in this case, my jar, I measured the front of it, and I wanted this to be about 3.5 inches tall overall. But how did I get the lettering in there? You're just going to go in, guys, and find whatever fonts that you like. And you can see up here that I took 4 different fonts here. And I've welded those together and put those in. But all you're going to do is get your text, type it in, and I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm just going to show you how to flatten it. I'm not going to select a ton of fonts for this. So I've got that, and I'm going to align it, and I'm going to center. And then I went in and I ungrouped those to lines. That way I could change one line at a time to whatever font I wanted. But let's just go ahead and pull it down here where we're working, because you're going to have to size that. So you're going to go to Advanced, and you're going to ungroup to the lines. That way each line is together. And then you can select whatever font it is that you want to use. That's not really a good font, is it? Let's go with Cricut fonts. Whatever fonts that you want to use, you can select those and change each line. And then all you're going to do is size them up to fit. And I even did like a writing font on this one. You can flatten a writing font so it will write instead of, I keep hitting the wrong button there, writing. Once you have it on there and you've got it letter spaced, we're just going to pretend that it's all letter spaced like we want it. Just set up all of your fonts and get it fitted in there. And I think I even unlocked some and stretched them and skewed them a little bit. But just fit it all in. And once you've got it all lined up like you want it, you're going to select all again and flatten. You can see it's all one image. Everything is one image right there in the layers panel. It's not 2 or 3. It's one image. There's no grid showing back there behind it. So I know that if you can see grid, it's going to cut a hole there. Okay? That's the thing. If you can see the grid behind it, it's going to cut a hole in it. It needs to be one layer. Okay, so that's how we did that one. And then on this one, I took 3 images. This is one image right here. Let's see if I can find it. But it said best dad ever, and it had something up under it. Okay, and I'm going to undo that. You can see what all's used in a project just by scrolling down. Right here, best dad ever, and it's just ask my kids. But I didn't want that. I wanted the hook, line, and sinker, because I'm going to put this on a little jar that has the sweetest fish in them. Okay, so how did I do that? Contour, guys. Let me ungroup that and show you. It looks like it's not there, but if I click on contour, look at there. It's there. But it's not there because I told it I don't want it to cut, and that's what contour does. I'm telling it don't cut that. If I hide all, show all contours, here it is. So all I did to get rid of that, and a lot of people say slice, and you can do it that way if you don't ever want to use it again. But what if you wanted to use it in this one file 2 different ways? Then you lost this part. But you can just go in and remove the things you don't want it to cut by clicking on them and hiding them. And then you can use that image in a different way. If you see here in the layers panel, this is 3 pieces. So if I ungroup it, I've got 3 different layers. So I've got all of this stuff lined up. I've got 2 layers here, I've got 1 layer there, and then 3 layers there. So I've got all these layers. If I take them and I flatten it, see the grid behind it? Every single piece of this is going to cut out by itself, just like it would if I didn't flatten it. It's going to print it, but it's still going to cut all of this separate. Okay? Every bit of that gets cut separate. The way to stop that is to put a shape behind it. Remember, the color white does not print. So you can get any shape you want. I'm just using a square here, and change it to the white color. You can unlock it and size it to fit your image. I'm going to arrange and send that to the back. And you don't want all that excess, so you can get close with it. Make sure you unlock that. Skew it up. That looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to align center so that it stays on there. And with, oops, I forgot I had ungrouped it. Undo, there we go. So I'm going to select it all and flatten. And now you cannot see the grid behind it. So now it's going to print, and then it's going to cut the square only. Again, one layer over here in the layers panel. Even though I had several layers before I started, you can go in and just flatten everything at one single time. It's going to print it and only cut the square. So it's super simple, super easy to use. Another one that I put together, I'm going to ungroup this. I took a free image, changed the colors of it, and then I put this on the top of it and flattened it all together. That's all I did to get this one. Okay? Super easy. With these, with your contour, you can change these and put in the date that you need it to be. Flatten them out so you can have the year the child was born in here on this one. Super simple, super simple and easy. This one, I just found an image and it just said nuts about you. I went in and added the weir and the dad, put it at the top and the bottom, and I flattened it to a gray, and you guys have already seen that on the other thing that I printed. Did the same thing here, except I changed the colors and flattened them. So, super easy projects to do. Print and cut, super easy. And I'm just going to get rid of these extra images that I was using to play around with. And then we have this one. So how did I make that one? This is a Design Space image that was in there. And I used parts of it, but I didn't use the other parts of it. So here's the thing. Contour can do for you when you're doing this. Now this one's a little bit tedious because you have all of these tiny letters. But I went in and I took out all of this North Springfield. I'm not going to do all of that here. Took out the deer, his ears. The eyes were a little tricky, guys. And if you don't get the eyes, I got them that time, I think. If you don't get them, you can always scroll down in the list and find those pieces and click on them this way and get rid of them. I'm probably getting rid of some of the wrong letters there. No. Yeah, that one doesn't go. Here we go. You can change the date. This one says 20. Oops, I want that M. This one says 1982, but you can go in there and take that date out. You can see how my letters are disappearing, and you can go back in and contour and keep contouring until you have everything out. So I took the deer out, put a fish in, and you're probably not going to be able to see it on this with it that small. Let me unflatten it so you guys can see it. But I went in and I just put like a abstract fish in there, and I took out that and added Happy Father's Day, arched it with my text tool. And if you have text, I'm going to change, I'm on Agent Q there. We don't want that font for that. I'm just going to pick a child's year here, something easy. But with your text, you get your curve option. And then you can curve your text to go in there. Super simple and easy to do. And then you're just going to overlay it right there where you want it. Line it all up. Get your circle, whatever shape you want. Select it all and flatten. And now we've made this into this. And you, like I said, you can change the date to be whatever you want it. Yes, Charmaine, thank you. Let's get those likes up, guys. So print and cut is super simple and super easy to use. A lot of people don't use it because they're afraid. This one, I just put a bunch of images and fonts on here, and then I went and got some monsters out of Design Space, sized them up. I took a square, I changed it to draw. Where is that? He's in there, right here. And then you can select the color you want it to be and just overlay it in there, size it up to the size you want it to be, and give yourself some extra print, whatever you want for a little border. So you can create borders just by changing them to right, and then select it all and flatten. Super easy. So now that I've showed you guys how to do it, we're going to show you about printing it. I want to make sure I've got all of the extras out of there that I was showing you guys how to use. Once you have everything done, you hit Make It, and it's going to send it over to the mats for print and cut. Okay? As a matter of fact, this is my file, so I'm just going to get rid of this one because this one is on cardstock. Just going to hide it and click Make It. It's going to put everything on the mats the way that they will fit so that you have it all. And it's in different places. I may have to go back to the other file. Because I want you guys to see it cutting. So I'm going to undo. I'm not going to save any of that. Just going to pull it up again. And it's going to take a second. It's a big file because I had a bunch of tutorial stuff in there. Does everybody understand print and cut? Do you have any questions up to this point? I'm going to hide that one. We don't need it. And get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so here we have our print and cut, and we're on this screen. Our next step, we're going to hit continue. You cannot, well, you can maneuver a little bit, guys, but you can't move it to another mat. It won't let you. So just so you know that. And if you move it and you printed it, and you see this over here on the right, I've already printed. If you don't get it in the exact same spot, it's not going to cut correctly. So I don't suggest moving any of it, okay? Just to be clear, I don't suggest moving any of it. So, because you just won't ever get it to line back up if you need to. So the next thing you do, once you have them, you're going to send it to printer. And you're going to get a dialog box like this. You want to leave your bleed on. The bleed gives you, it's going to be hard to tell with the images that I did because they're all black or either white. But that bleed gives you an area so that when it cuts, you don't have a white edge, okay? Now, if your image is white, then you would anyway. But you will see that when you're printing things like flowers or you're printing words, you will see this blurry edge, and it's meant to be there. So you only want to turn your bleed off if you're printing on a clear sticker or decal. Because you don't want that blurry edge to show at all on those. But I'm just saying, leave your bleed on. If you're worried about it, print on copy paper, cut it. See how it cuts? You may want to calibrate if the cut is off. But generally, for the most part, they come calibrated pretty well. I think I've calibrated one time, maybe twice on my machine. So, I mean, they're pretty good. Sometimes after an update, I think we had an update to print and cut, and we had to calibrate. But things like that, normally you don't have to do. The next thing you want to do, I have my Epson printer in here. Yours is going to say whatever your printer is. You want to use the system dialog. Turn that on and click print. Then you're just going to move this window out of your way, and there'll be a window behind it. It used to pop up on the top, but now it comes up behind. I need to bring that up so I can get to it. And this is where you adjust your settings. Now yours may look a little bit different. It's going to depend on your printer. So you're going to come in and you're going to go to your printer settings. And here is where I select my rear paper feed. If you have a pass-through, or if you're using whatever, if you have different feeds on yours, that's what you'll need to check. It did change. Yeah, Pat, if you're still having issue with it, contact support if you're not able to get it to calibrate. Hopefully they will adjust it a little bit more. I noticed that it's just smaller than it used to be. But you're going to select your paper source, which mine is the rear feed, and then mine has a cardstock, so I'm going to select that. And then you want your print quality to be premium. You want a good print quality on your print and cut, guys, unless you're just doing a test. Then you don't need to waste all that ink and just leave it on the default. You do not need to mirror your image unless you're doing this for iron-on, and if the iron-on tells you to do so. And I don't do it here, but some people do. I rather do it on the mat. So I just leave all of that, and then I select print. I'm not going to actually hit print here because I've already printed them. And then voila, we magically have printed, and now we're ready to cut. So let's go to the overhead cam, and yeah, some images just don't get a good bleed. So here we are, and I have printed this one, and I've already put my laminate on this. Now guys, if you're using the laminate, you need to put it on before you cut it, so that it looks professional and it's on there. But you can see that bleed right here. You see where my cut line is? And that's what you want. You want it to cut inside that bleed line. And I've got, it almost got into the white right there. That's the other one there. But I'm good. It's still cut into the gray of this one. So, but that is what your bleed does, and it keeps you from having that white edge. If I pull this one up, you can see there's no white edge on that. So, and that's why your bleed is important. It gives it that little edge to fudge on. That might be it. If it was an uploaded pattern, Pat, that could be it. So how do we work with this laminate? So we've printed it, and then we're going to put it on our mat. And I am using a green mat. If you want to use a blue mat, use a blue mat. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to line that up on my mat and press it down. I do not have the laminate on there yet. Let me grab a sheet of that out. Guys, this stuff is awesome. I love it. And you're going to need a squeegee. You do not want to use like your Cricut scraper on this, guys. You want to use the squeegee like this. Or I have one that has like a piece of felt on it and tons of glue and whatever other mediums that I've had around it when I was using it. But I use this because this one won't scratch the laminate, and this laminate's a little harder to scratch than vinyl is, so you'll probably be okay if you have one of these. You can always test down in a corner and see. Wrap a piece of felt or glue a piece of felt to this one if it does try to scratch. So I'm putting this on the mat just to hold it in place before I do my cut. And then you're going to peel back just a tiny bit of the corner. And this is the part that always gives me trouble, is trying to peel back my corner. It's really thin. because we know it's not going to cut up in this corner, so if I ding it up, it'll be okay. There we go. Come here. There we go. So I'm just going to peel back just a tiny bit, and I'm going to fold the corner back, just like this. I don't know if you guys can see it because it's crystal clear. It's really clear. And then I'm going to take the corner that I have not peeled, and I'm going to line it up, and I have to stand up for this. I'm going to line it up with this piece on the mat, okay? And just stick that corner down. Very important. Sometimes with vinyl, I'll just pull this out and let it lay. You don't want to do that with this material, guys. And it's even better when you do your vinyl this way. And you're going to start pushing it. This stops air bubbles, guys. So if you want to apply your vinyl this way, and it may shake the table because my camera's connected to it, and I apologize. But you're going to push this and push those air bubbles out as you go so you don't get any, and it gives you a nice, smooth application. So I know a lot of you have been hearing me say that this is a awesome product, but I hadn't gotten around to making a video to show you guys how to use it. So I thought that I would do it on tonight's live. And I'm just pressing it down. And if you are using a green mat, make sure that you've detacked it by putting a t-shirt or something on it so that you can get the paper back off of it. But now you can see that it's on there and there's no air bubbles. There's some lumps, but that's from my mat, from cardstock and stuff like that. But there are no air bubbles in it. It's nice and smooth. So once you've done that, you're ready to cut. I cut this with the laminate on foil acetate. That is the setting that I use for this. I've already printed. So I'm going to select foil acetate on the screen with my maker. And just so you guys can see that, let me go over and show it for anybody who has not done this before. If you're on an Air or an Air 2 or Explorer, you're going to put your dial on custom. Put your dial on custom, and then you're going to choose foil acetate for your material. And I have it saved as one of my favorites. And if you don't, browse all materials, type it in and look it up, and it will be there. And you'll just select it. I'm going to use default pressure, and then I'm just going to hit make it. So let's go back over to the camera. And then you're going to insert your mat, hold it against the rollers, guys, and load it. And I know that you guys can't see the entire maker cutting, so I'm going to try to slide it over and get as much in camera as I can for you. And then you're just going to press the go button and let it read. That's how easy print and cut is, guys. So now we just have to let the machine do the work for us. Oh, you're welcome, Pat. You mean about using the squeegee to put your laminate on? Keep those air bubbles out. You can do that when you're applying vinyl. It's the exact same thing. Just peel back the corner, lay it down, and start squeegeeing and pushing that liner out from under the vinyl instead of trying to pull the liner out and then rubbing the vinyl down. You'll get a lot less air bubbles. And it's finalizing, and there we go. It's going to start cutting right around all of those shapes. And as soon as that finishes, it will cut twice on foil acetate. Guys, this stuff can be a little bit thick, but it's very, very, very durable. Extremely durable. You can get it wet with the laminate on there. You don't have to worry about it. The adhesive itself is waterproof according to the package. Your ink is not. So you don't have to worry about the adhesive, but you do have to worry about your ink. Is everybody with me so far on print and cut? Anybody have any questions? Because I know a lot of people were looking at that awesome cup. I forgot the name already of the prescription cup that somebody did. Print and cut. You can do your prescription label. Lay it out. Select it all. Once you have it laid out the way you want it, flatten. It'll cut that square. And this stuff is awesome for that. Will be awesome. You'll see when we start putting it on our projects. Okay. Now removing it from the mat. I'm going to move that out of the way. Turn your mat over, guys, and peel the mat away from your vinyl. It's the easiest way to do it. This is a fairly new mat that I have. And then you're ready to go. We're ready to decorate. And all I've done, guys, is fill my jars with whatever. And I got these little cans at Walmart, $1.97. You can get these at Dollar Tree sometimes. You can get them at Party City. You can get them at Amazon, different colors. This one's got like a little holographic or opalescent look to it, iridescent, and then confetti. So you can find them in different things. And this has some a little bit gray. I wanted some that were clear, but I didn't have time to go in and get them. So just filled them with different stuff. I have hugs and kisses in this one, and I have Swedish fish in this one, and I have pistachios in this one. And then this one, I've just got a mixture of everything. And then this one, how do you do a mason jar when it has all these raised edges on it? Okay. And I got one of my antique ones out just because it had a bunch of raised stuff on it. You don't want to put laminate on something like that. You want it to have a smooth side, okay? So for this one, I'll show you what we're going to do and we're still using the print and cut for that, but I'll show you how we'll fix that. So I've got nuts in this one, and I am going to do, as you can see, I just put the little packs in there, and then you press the top down. And you have a ribbon on these that I got from Walmart to help you pull them out. So on this one, I'm going to put "We're Nuts About You, Dad" on there. I'm just going to peel off. You don't need any transfer tape for these guys. As a matter of fact, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to change my camera. It didn't take. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me go over that again. So flip your mat. This is on the mat this way. You want to flip your mat over and peel the vinyl from the mat from the vinyl, not the other way around, because you'll mess up your stickers, okay? I got these at Walmart, filled them with different things. You can get them everywhere. These were $1.97, and they're decorative, okay? Sorry about that, guys, on the camera. And then this one is a mason jar, and it has some raised edges. So we can't put anything on those. And I did hugs and kisses in this one. So we're just going to decorate them up different ways. So I've peeled off my "We're Nuts About You, Dad," and this one's filled with pistachios. And I'm just going to kind of center that up. I should have brought my thing in here that Sue gave me for my cups to hold it from rolling. I'm just trying to get it center. And then I'm just going to press it right down the middle. You don't have to press hard. And then one side, and then I'm going to work over to the other side. No air bubbles. Really cute. And then we have a top for that one, and I did the green on that. And if you changed your dates on it for your kids, whatever, then it'll be since whatever date that you chose. Now this has a little rivet here. Most of these don't have that rivet, guys. And I know it's not going to lay flat on it, but it's going to be okay. It'll be a little bit raised up. If it concerns you, you can always cut a divot out in with your X-Acto knife on that. So that one's really cute to give to second dads, or or let the kids do for dads, stepdads. Tons of stuff you can do with those. And any of you that just joined us, we did one that was the soda pops. We did the dad on top with the earplugs. We put a soda in there. We put popcorn in there. I wanted to get some pop rocks and some blow pops and stuff to put in there with it. But anything that has pop to it to carry on that theme. And then this one, I had a mix of everything in there. So what I did on this one was Dad's stash. And we did the mustache on this one. We're just going to peel it off. Again, I found that transfer tape, you want to make sure that when you're using this, that you don't have little bitty pieces, because the transfer tape does not like the laminate. Again, it's made where dust and dirt won't stick to it. So probably unless you're using strong grip Cricut transfer tape, it's not going to stick to it. And I don't even know if that will stick to this stuff, because it is made to keep it debris free. And we're just going to line that up, start in the middle, and work our way over. And these are like plastic soft, so I'm not rubbing them hard. And just go over to the other side. And then we'll put our dad scents on this one too. And I did it in gray to match. And just place that on the top. So now you have Dad's stash. You have the nuts. Let's do the fishing one. And this is the label that we made with the still fish. That is a Design Space image. I just took the deer off. I'm going to place that on there. And, of course, best dad ever, hook, line, and sinker on this one. And guys, you could still do the fish in here, or best catch. Instead of hook, line, and sinker, you can do best catch and put maybe baseball gumballs in there. Do a baseball theme instead of fishing. Tons of stuff. Just a play on words. Super, super simple, easy product to use, guys. I love the StarCraft laminate. I love it. And then we have this. These are the ones that I did on the big jar, guys. So when you're buying your jar for the pop and the popcorn, make sure that you buy one that has a wide enough mouth on it to get that stuff in there. And then the hugs and kisses. Put the hugs and kisses in there. And I think mine cut. If yours cuts a little bit deep, you might want to do a little less pressure on that foil acetate, because it looks like it cut through on this one where it didn't on the other one. Come on, peel for me, please. So if that happens, you're just going to have to do the old trick and start that paper after you peel it off, and then get it going. If it cuts too deep, you don't lose anything. And then we're just going to pop that one on there. And if you're getting a lot of air bubbles using large round pieces like this, guys, you might want to make them just a tiny bit smaller. But with something like this, this is a good size. You can see that I don't have any wrinkling. It's on a curved surface. Usually those wrinkles pop up when your image is too large for the surface. Hi, Patricia. Yeah, you can do this without the laminate, but if it gets wet, your ink will run. The laminate will stop it from running. Now, if you're wanting that matte look, this one is the gloss. I use the gloss laminate on this one. If you guys can see how it's shiny. It looks like I bought them with this on there. But if you want it a flat look, they make that laminate in a matte. So you can get it in the gloss or in matte. Just make sure you're selecting the one that you want. But the adhesive vinyl itself is matte. So this is the vinyl, and it does come in separate packs. You get the matte inkjet printable, and then you get the laminate to do these. So now we have those, all different plays. How do you do one that has this on it? Because if we put vinyl on there, it's going to be lumpy because of all of the raised lettering on here. So I cut one from cardstock, and I went back and cut it again. This is cardstock, and this is what I'm going to use for this. But I went back because I've got some denim paper that I got from Joann's and some cork. And I wanted to use that on this one. But you can cut it from cardstock too. And do it that way. If you're doing it from cardstock, you have a small piece. Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to have the same pieces no matter which one you do. But you're just going to glue one tab here. And it doesn't matter if I got glue on the other side of that because it's not going to show. And then you're going to line up on one end. And it's just because my jar, you need to measure your jar. You may not need this much. You may not need this piece. And it's going to depend on the size of your jar where you're going to glue that second one anyway. So you're just going to wrap it around and then bring this around and glue it. So it's, like I said, it depends on the size jar that you have and your piece. Don't worry about these. This piece is wide enough to cover where you've glued that together for your band, okay? So you want to put this piece on and then this piece on. But I'm going to do mine with this denim fabric. If I can find, there it is. And I plan on doing the roses, yes I do, in denim. But I got this at Joann's, and guys, on the back, guess what? Flower pattern, freebie. So, and I'm going to try to design whatever that is. It looks like a circle with just, I can probably, almost like a light bulb, put that into design space just by looking at it and sizing it. But I'll make a pattern where we can do some roses from this. And I'll get that out to you guys for the monthly supporters. And then I also got from them this cork. It's a 12 by 12 natural cork, and they're just really thin sheets of cork. There's no paper, no nothing on them. And I did use my rotary blade to cut both of these guys. And you have to be very careful. You can see that I tore that, and I think it'll be okay, so I didn't recut it. Got some glue leaking here. There we go. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this, and hopefully it'll hold. It is paper backed on that denim. Just going to give that a second to sit. And then I'm just going to pull it around my jar. And glue that end. And you want to get this as tight as you can possibly get it. You don't want it falling off. And as even as you can get it. Maybe if I lay it down, it'll be easier. There we go. So you want it to be taut around there. And then I'm just going to take this piece, hopefully it'll go all the way around. Oh yeah, so I can just tear that off. Plenty of space. And I'm just gonna go, I may need hot glue for this. I haven't used this product yet. This is the first time I'm using it. But if it doesn't stick, then we'll know, and you guys will know that what you need to make it stick. And I just have that denim peeping out. Go all the way around. And we'll see. I'm going to give it just a second. Hey, Tanya. And it looks like it's sticking. I would probably still, I don't know, Aleene's or, and then we're just going to put a little on the back of our cardstock here. And I did not go all the way to the edges, and stick it right on the front. Oops, I need to pull it down just a little bit. And I would definitely use hot glue for this, guys, just so it will stay tight, because it feels like it's slipping a little bit. So if you're using these products, use the hot glue. But then you can see you have your little monster trail mix from the Little Monsters. So several Father's Day ideas there, using print and cut, cardstock, vinyl, and laminate. Yeah, score tape I think would work too. I think score tape would really work good, Sue, because it wouldn't be as lumpy as maybe hot glue. So good suggestion there. Okay, guys, does anybody have any questions? Got several little goodies here for Dad. Let me turn these where you guys can see them. So you've got several selections in that file to work from, several different ideas where you can do different things, different ones. Use a play on words. Like I said, you can do baseball bubblegum in one and do great catch. Just about anything. Just use your imagination, play on words, and something will pop in there. You'll think of something. And that is not blurry, guys. That's my camera. I don't know. It doesn't want to focus across the whole thing. And I am working on, for Monday, I'm working out something where we're going to be doing some iron-on and some vinyl, regular vinyl, not the laminate. But in case you guys are going to join me Monday and you want to follow along, you're going to be needing some of the foil craft board. I haven't worked it completely out, so I may change, but just in case, have some on hand. I am using a $1.50 pan from Walmart and a $1.50 bowl from Walmart. And my pan fits on my bowl just like so. And we're gonna try to turn that into a little gift basket that looks like a grill. So that's what I'm working on. And hopefully I'll have it all worked out and we can get it going on Monday so you have a little gift basket that can go along with some of your canned goods. Try to make sure that camera focuses in. There it goes. Got out of focus when I put my hand under there. So you'll be able to, hopefully if I get that worked out, I think I've got it. I just have to do one more test cut, but I think I have it. And I got some little, I got like a bottle of barbecue sauce, and I got some of the like silicone miniature grill tools, like the brush and spatula and tongs. And then I got a t-shirt to go up under the pan, and we're going to put iron on that. And I got some dishcloths. So cute little idea for another Father's Day gift, or either maybe a 4th of July. You could use it for several things. 4th of July host gift. If you're going to somebody's house for a barbecue, something that you can take along to give to them. And we're, like I said, we're going to be using some vinyl, some cardstock or craft board. And I think I may even throw a card in that. So you guys are getting a sneak peek on that. And one other thing, somebody, Gerald, wanted to do a tips and tricks. Guys, if you get the Eileen's, and this is Gerald's tip for us, the Eileen's tack it over and over. You can make your own glue dots, like so. Instead of buying the glue dots, you can make your own by putting that onto some parchment paper or wax paper and letting it air dry, and then you've got your own glue dots. So great tip on that this week from Gerald. For those of you who didn't see her post in the group, that was, I think she put that in the dimensional card or our card maker group. Oh, you're welcome, guys. I thank you all for joining me. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Again, if you're supporting me on Patreon, thank you. If you've moved over to Ko-fi and you're supporting me on Ko-fi, thank you for that. Thank you, moderators. Greatly appreciate you guys. Does anybody have any questions? Last minute? Anything you think of? Okay. If nobody has anything, or if you think of something later, don't forget to come over to the groups and ask us. We'll all be there to help you. Yeah, that's a great thing too, Pat. Tack it for the backside of reusable stencils. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day. I will see you guys on Monday, 7 p.m. We'll be back on our regular schedule. You have a great one, and great weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday.